Guess this might be the last time we see each other, LOL. How about you hurry up and go to heaven, LOL. I thought they came to visit me in the hospital. But this is all my husband and Mill had to say. I had reached my breaking point throughout our one-year marriage. Both of them had belittled and tormented me. I couldn't let this go without some form of revenge. I decided to enlist the help of my sister-in-law, who had lent me an ear countless times, to bring them down. My name is Katie, and I'm 30 years old. I live with my 32-year-old husband, John, and my Mill in her home. John has a sister, Emily, 2 years older than him, but she lives separately. Although the spacious home could easily accommodate Emily, she never comes near the place. Before getting married, I didn't understand why, but it became clear as soon as we moved in. John told me before we married, "I want you to be a stay-at-home wife. I earn enough for us not to worry about money." Sounds good, right? Being too infatuated, I quickly agreed. I thought being a housewife was like winning the lottery in life, but that naive thought was shattered almost immediately. What awaited me was a living hell. It's no wonder the man I thought was so cool turned out to be a mama's boy. And my Mill is an extreme helicopter parent. They treated me like a housemaid. I thought you'd bring home a more beautiful and intelligent woman. This is quite disappointing. My Mill said right after we moved in. John responded, "Mom, looks aren't everything. She's really good at housework, so make her work hard and enjoy your day." He wasn't caring about me. He was considering his mother's comfort. Is this really love? Am I just a housemaid to them? I thought shortly after we got married. I soon found out why Emily had distanced herself from this home. At our marriage introduction, Emily told me, "If you run into any issues, feel free to contact me anytime." I reached out to Emily just a week into our marriage. "Hey Emily, are you free now?" "Yes, what's up?" Emily asked gently as I called her with disappointed voice. "Is it normal for John and Mill to be so close?" So you've seen it." "Yeah, they've always been like that. Creepy close, right?" I vented out my feelings. "It's unbearable. They're always together in the house, as if they were more than just mother and son. Like they're a couple or something. Is there anything else? Do you think John really loves me? Or does he just see me as a convenient housekeeper?" After some thought, Emily said, "At first, I thought John married you because he loved you, but now it sounds different. It seems like Mom is still his number one." That made me down. I had promised my parents that I'd be happy. How can I tell them now that I want to separate? Right now, all you can do is wait for John to change his mind. He might see your hard work and dedication and feel differently. Is that even possible? I can't guarantee it, but there's a chance. He was deeply in love with someone before, you know. Maybe he could again. Should I still give it a shot? Yes. If it doesn't work out, I'll help you get your revenge. Can I vent to you again? Of course. In the end, just as Emily had advised, all I could do was try to win back my husband from my Mill. But it didn't work out as I had hoped. Both John and my Mill continued to look down on me as a woman who was good for housework only. My mother-in-law would often say things like, "Oh, John mentioned you're good at housework, but it doesn't look like the cleaning is up to par. Please redo everything from scratch, or you're planning to serve that dish for dinner. Are you insane? Eggplants are his least favorite vegetable. Throw it away and make something else." Seriously, as a wife, you should know your husband's preferences inside out. She would also complain about wrinkles left in Alex's dress shirts, saying, "Are you trying to embarrass him? I'll report this to him." She was frequently nagging me and asking me to redo housework. And without fail, she would report everything to my husband and make disturbing comments like, "This wife is a failure," or "I had to do a lot for John today." Praise me. My husband, speaking in an annoying voice to my mother-in-law, said, Mom, sorry. Seems like I'm putting some burden on you. Hey, Catherine, what are you doing for Mom? I've let you be a stay-at-home wife because you can at least manage the household chores. You better work hard for Mom and me. And he never forgets to scold me afterwards. Gradually, I felt myself becoming mentally cornered whenever I felt stressed. I confided in my sister-in-law, Susan. After enduring such a life for about a year, I started to worry that I might break down. So, I began secretly working from home. Since my husband and I have separate bedrooms, I cut down on my sleep to work on my computer. I was just getting the hang of my job and had started to save a bit, even though it wasn't much. But I pushed myself too hard, working late at night, and ended up getting sick and hospitalized. When the doctor announced that he would explain my condition to the family, neither my husband nor my mill showed up. Only Susan came to see me. I was scheduled to stay in the hospital for a week, but I saw this as an opportunity. I thought this is a good opportunity to get distance from my husband and Mill. I lied and told them I'd be hospitalized for a month, caring about appearances. My husband and Mill finally visited me 3 days later. Upon hearing my explanation, my husband said, Well, Katie, this might be the last time we see each other. LOL. This is actually what I've been wishing for. And my Mill added, Why don't you just go to heaven already? LOL. Realizing that I could never be important to these two, my sadness turned into rage. I swore to myself that I'd get my revenge on them, pretending to be meek. I continued lying to them. Since I'll be in the hospital for a long time, the medical bills will add up. I don't want to burden you, Brian. Should we just divorce? They smirked and agreed. So, Katie, no need for alimony, right? After all, we've supported you all this time, they said, all too eagerly discussing divorce, right? We don't need to divide the assets, do we? I mean, I've been a stay-at-home wife, and you've been supporting me all this time. It'd be ridiculous if you took even more of my money. You're okay with that, right, Emily? My husband and my Mill were all too enthusiastic about the divorce talk. Little did they know the kind of revenge that awaited them. As far as these two were concerned, I was nothing more than a glorified maid. And for that, they would face their just desserts. Divorce papers are a drag, Emily. Why don't you prepare them? The person who brings it up should be the one to do it. LOL. Exactly. Please handle the tedious paperwork, Emily. We wouldn't want to burden busy John with it. They said that cheerfully as they left. I watched them leave with icy eyes. We won't be seeing each other again. Enjoy your fleeting freedom, you too. I was discharged from the hospital after a week-long stay. From then on, I would be staying at my sister-in-law, Emily's place. Emily was also on board with my revenge plan. I'm so sorry for what my mom and John have done. Consider it a token of my apologies. I'll help you with your revenge plan. Just say the word. True to her word, Emily let me stay at her place for several days. Now it's time to start the investigation into my husband for my revenge. Although my gut tells me he's already cheating because he's been coming home very late. There's hardly any overtime at his workplace. I know because I used to work there too. Plus, he's been going out with my Mill more frequently on weekends. I suspect she knows about the affair and is even involved in some way. Raider, I guess the lady should have some connection with Mill, although I don't know who she is. Or John really loves her and introduced to Mill, I guess. After about a week, the private investigation concluded. That was quick, mainly because my husband, John, was blatantly cheating. Since we're not officially divorced yet, this is grounds for seeking alimony. I was shocked to find out that his affair was with a former co-worker of mine. I didn't expect that at all. I couldn't help but think she deserved to face the consequences too. To do that, I had to contact his workplace. Thanks to Emily's professional connections, I was able to hire a lawyer. I instructed the lawyer to send a cease and desist letter demanding divorce, alimony for the affair, and also compensation for the years of mistreatment directly to his workplace. I also sent the same kind of notice to the former coworker he cheated with. I've blocked calls and messages from my husband. I also blocked my mail, since dealing with her is a hassle. From now on, any discussions will go through my lawyer. It seems my lawyer already received a furious call from my husband. Tell Kate to unblock me. People at work are talking about me because she sent something to my office. Isn't Kate supposed to be in the hospital, potentially fighting for her life? And she's ignoring me. Just talking to you isn't enough. Get her to respond ASAP, he shouted. Funny, he could go to the hospital where he thinks I am, except I'm not there, LOL. He has a lot he could be doing himself, yet he's lashing out at the lawyer like a child. My lawyer is accustomed to this kind of behavior and told me about it, but didn't ask me to unblock anyone. He assured me he'd continue to handle communications. My husband's reputation at work seems to be tanking. An old colleague who occasionally talks to me told me the juicy details. Assistant manager Smith is in hot water since his affair with Catherine got out. I heard he's getting sidelined to a dead-end department. LOL. Catherine looks increasingly uncomfortable, and her complexion is getting worse. She'll probably either go on leave or quit soon, LOL. It seems Catherine, my former colleague, feels guilty about the affair. In contrast, my husband is badgering the lawyer daily. He says, "When can I contact Kate? It's her fault I'm facing a demotion. If that happens, I'm not paying any alimony. Make sure to tell Kate that. It's none of my business. Like it's my fault he's in jeopardy of demotion. I have no responsibility on it." Doesn't he feel the need to reflect on his actions? My mill is also trying to reach out through the lawyer. I want to talk to the woman who's making life miserable for my dear son, Mike. How can we make that happen? I won't be satisfied until she apologizes to me. She wants an apology. LOL. Who's the one who has been making life miserable for whom here? Rather, I want apology from them. I get annoyed every time I hear from my lawyer. In the end, my husband was indeed moved to a dead-end department. Unhappy about it, he left the company, claiming they were trying to destroy his talents. He'll likely look for a similar job elsewhere. This is where my sister-in-law, a high-powered career woman, comes in. She has dealings with companies my husband was trying to move to, and she sabotaged his efforts. She was thrilled to contribute to my revenge plan. As a result, my husband failed to get another job. He ended up in a less than reputable company. He even called the lawyer to complain. So Kate used my sister's influence to ruin my career. That's low. Why would my own sister help Kate? The lawyer he's yelling at was introduced to me by his sister. He seems he didn't notice it at all. Po guy. I decided to fast-track the divorce and alimony claims. Even if my husband is reluctant to divorce, I can still claim alimony. My husband finally came around and agreed to the divorce and alimony payments. The alimony is quite hefty, accounting for both his infidelity and the emotional distress he caused me through his abusive behavior. Since he ended up working at a low-paying, sketchy company, he had to take out loans to make the alimony payments. Taking on debt like that will likely burden him for the rest of his life. That said, I didn't agree to a payment plan. I could see him falling behind on payments if I did. So, he spiraled into a debt nightmare. By the way, I also received alimony from his mistress, Catherine. Turns out she had a mental breakdown and had to leave her job, so her parents paid on her behalf. I heard later that her parents are also demanding alimony from my husband. Their argument is that if he hadn't led their daughter astray, she wouldn't have had a breakdown. I heard he's saying he can't pay, and it's become a messy fight. As for the aftermath, both my husband and Mill have been effectively sent to hell. I don't have a shred of sympathy for them and feel quite relieved. My sister-in-law feels the same way. She said, laughing, "I've had to put up with their crap for years. I'm so glad this happened. Just like you cut ties with them through your divorce, I'm in the process of cutting them off from the family. I should have done this sooner, LOL. This whole situation has been helpful for her as well. As for what kind of life those two are leading now, I have no idea, but I hope they regret causing so much unhappiness to others. I've quit my work from home job and found full-time employment through my sister-in-law's recommendation. It's a reputable company, and I'm looking forward to a fulfilling work-life balance. I hope my sister-in-law and I will continue to have a good relationship. After all, we're comrades who fought the same battle."